Okay, so I decided to go ahead and put this video together. Quickly, 5-10 minute video. My brother and younger sister were asking this information, so I decided to just go ahead and make it available for everybody. So the question that was asked to me, and he's been working in IT for a number of different years at the help desk, kind of low level, and also my sister who was trying to decide basically her place in life. They're both in their 20s, and actually now I think he hit 30. But anyway, so they were trying to figure out how I kept making money all of these years and flipping houses and what was I actually doing. So he asked me about a boot camp, and I said, "You don't need a boot camp." And here's the thing that people need to understand as I go through this. When I came up in IT, number one, I couldn't afford a boot camp, even if it was available. It just wasn't an option, right? None of the people I work with today, none of the people I've worked with in the past have ever attended a boot camp. About 80% was self-taught. 20% went to training that was given, maybe 20-30%, I would say, went to training that was given by the government agency or the contract or the company I work for. The healthcare company I initially started with, Act for Healthcare, they trained the hell out of me initially. And after them, then I went to other locations after that. Global Communities, which used to be called CHF International, which is a nonprofit. I learned a lot there, especially with VMware. And then when I entered the federal government as an IT contractor and then ultimately a federal employee, I got a lot of training on the job with hands-on, but also with the training that was available at work. But I never attended a boot camp. So even today, working with DevOps engineers on our teams, working with cloud engineers, cybersecurity engineers, DevSecOps engineers that are in the contracting company that I work for today, none of them went to boot camps. So this thing of boot camps, usually from what I have seen from different people that I'm aware of, have actually taken the boot camp that I knew personally. Half the time they were greedy, they were in a rush, they wanted this get rich quick kind of fix, and they thought they was going to kind of solve their whole problem by having someone to sit there and tell them what to do. And here's the thing: if you're going to go into IT, you have to have the ability to self-learn because even if there's a million boot camps out there, you're always going to have to sit down and figure out how to do something. Whether it's deploying a new platform, the latest technology is AI. Next year, 10 years from now, it'll be some new technology with some new name or some new aspect that you have to learn if you're going to stay in this career field. So while every salesperson from every single boot camp will give you every excuse of why you must have it, the reality is you don't have to use boot camp, but you do have to have the discipline and the self initiative and also the ability to basically compartmentalize what you're going to spend time on and what you're not going to spend time on. But I can tell you flat out, if you're one of these social media monsters that has to have a phone in your hand every 2 seconds and you can't stop watching Hulu, TV, you put your friends as a priority and you don't want to sit still for hours. I'm not talking 3, 4, I'm talking about like 5, 10, hours actually sitting down, learning through something over a course of a period of weeks and months and years, then IT probably is not for you, right? There's no get rich quick scheme to this entire process. Now, boot camps can help you ramp up and get into the field quicker, but no matter what, anywhere you go, anybody you learn from, you have to actually take the time to be dedicated and focus on what you're going to do, right? So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. I put a guide together that I was sending to them. I kind of polished it up just a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and dig into it. So, some of the ones that came up, and I put top 15. I'm going to put this free on LinkedIn and also publish this to YouTube. So I got Cold Cloud, and there's ones that I have used personally, so I know if they do or they don't work or they're full of crap. But like I said, I didn't do a boot camp, but I did participate in training. So Cold Cloud, I've used Cold Cloud on a daily basis. I initially started, when I first started training, I started with Train Signal, right? If anybody remembers Train Signal. So I'm a visual learner. So Train Signal really literally changed my life back then, right? It was something that I can afford. The training was something my job was willing to pay for. So when I came in contact with Train Signal, it was earth shattering. It was life changing because video training for visual learning is everything, right? Sitting down, just reading through a book, trying to follow exercises, I wasn't good with that, right? It wasn't my thing. So Train Signal became I think they became a cloud guru. I forgot their whole path. So first was Train Signal, then a cloud guru, and then a cloud guru sold off to Pluralsight, and it just kind of went downhill from there. Some people love Pluralsight. I personally, I don't prefer the platform. They used to be really, really good, but it started to get too corporate and they were too money focused. They still have playgrounds and labs, but I just moved on. And I moved on from there and I moved to Cold Cloud, and I've been with Cold Cloud ever since. But there's other options, right? So I got here, a lot of the boot camps that are out there, I did Udacity. Udacity I found to be a nuisance. You complete the courses, then you have to go through a whole bunch of craziness to get certified. They eventually got bought out by Accenture. They're probably better now, but I haven't used them in a very long time. Okay. So anyway, some of the other boot camps, current ones are Level Up in Tech, Tech World with Nana, Kubecraft, Coder Co, Lewagon is out of the UK, et cetera. So we'll just kind of go through it. So one of the things I kind of put together is what's good, what's known. Now, here's the thing. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to post this PDF. You look at it yourself. All right, so anyway, so let's just take a look. Now, one of my biggest beefs with a lot of these boot camps is these sales tactics, right? So if I got to go to a forum and fill out the form and wait for you to talk to me, and then once you talk to me, it's basically, let's see if you're fit to pay that money, baby. You know what I mean? So, and if somebody's talking 5, 10, oh my goodness, $12,000, $15,000 just to take some training, let me tell you something. Nobody can promise you when you're going to get a job. Nobody, right? So your ability to get a job is your ability to sell yourself, do portfolios. The game has changed nowadays. Just applying directly to a website, that's not going to work. You need to get a referral. So some of these platforms have some companies that they put in place that they work together with, and not picking on Level Up in Tech here. I know this guy Brodus, not picking on him or Coder Co or Kubecraft, but these are the ones that are some of the most popular on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to talk to it. So Level Up in Tech, you have to basically fill out a form, and you can't just pay and sign up, right? You have to go through this whole shenanigans, and they're on Skoll. A lot of these folks are on Skoll. Skoll, that's one. But anyway, we'll go back and see what the prices is and stuff like that for Skoll. So Skoll, Coder Co, Kubecraft is Skoll also. Not now. Yeah, they're $4,800 a year. Sometimes I really wonder how they justify their pricing, but you get some people that they're desperate and they're willing, and that's one of the things about people who sign up for boot camps. Generally, they're desperate and in a rush, and they think it's going to be faster if they complete a boot camp, right? Or it's going to give them some kind of validation, when the reality is you're going to have to sit down and go through anything that you learn, anything you sign up and pay for. You're going to have to go through the process of actually learning. Now, one of the things about a structured program is that when you're following YouTube or Udemy, it's not structured, right? So if you're following YouTube videos and you don't have a structure, but this is the big thing that's different now with AI, is you can actually structure it. But let's just take a look at what's here, right? So like I said, so let me just go ahead and click this tool. So many times they'll have like some kind of free career guide. You click the guide, you get excited, you read it, you call, you contact them next day, following day, whatever communication they have, Skoll or whatever, and then you communicate with them. They set you up with a call, and then once they contact you, let's see, like for example, Coder Co, they're out of the UK, right? They have they're pretty good. They got a little video that pops up. You watch the video, you get excited, you click on join now. Now, the good thing I do like about Coder Co is they actually do give you the pricing, right? So that's one thing I really like about them. They actually will show you what it's going to cost for a year or for the training, right? So that's $149 a month, $1,400 a year. And if you go to Coder Co on Skoll, you'll see they have $199 a year. But some of these communities, they have a free tier or a free platform first or free access, and then it's like an upsell to get to the paid stuff. which is fine if that's what you need. So if you're one of these people that really need to have someone to talk to and to kind of bounce your ideas off and get feedback, if you really need that, you have absolutely no knowledge of IT whatsoever, it may be a fit for you. But like I said, I came out of medical, right? I was a combat medic. I was an EMT, and I was looking forward to going to medical school, becoming a physician assistant, and then ultimately a doctor. So I had no IT background whatsoever. So when I started learning, I started from the ground up, right? So I'm not somebody that has all this knowledge, was a software engineer, all this stuff, and trying to preach about what you can't do. I'm telling you for a fact, and I'm no rocket science. I'll tell you that, Jack. I actually will outwork most people, right? If I gotta stay up and not sleep for a whole day or two learning something and keep focusing, go to work, stay up, go to lunch, sleep hour in the car, go back into work and keep grinding to be ready, then that's what I'm gonna do. But not everybody's like that, right? Not everybody's willing to put that kind of hustle in. So that's where some of these platforms come in, right? So that's one of the things I do like about Tech World with Nana, a young lady named Nana Janasia. I might be butchering her name. I'm so sorry. But anyway, for her, what I do like that they have is you can just jump straight in, right? So if you don't have any kind of knowledge whatsoever, they have a fundamentals course where you can go ahead and just boom, pay for the fundamentals course. You go ahead and click off of that. Click on more info, and you go down. You get your price. Boom, you go ahead and pay the $4.95. You click on enroll, and you're in. Right, you just start. I like that. Now the other thing, right? Once you finish that, the thing I do like about her is she will actually tell you this is not for you if you have no background whatsoever. So this is really good. I like this, right? She'll actually warn you that, hey, this is not for you. If you have no background whatsoever, go do the fundamentals first and then come back. That's cool. I like that, right? And then she has transparency also. She's got the price down here. When they first started, it was like $7.95. You know, even me at the time when I was looking at joining one of the DevOps teams, I looked at jumping to the platform, and because it was cost prohibitive, I was forced to kind of just learn on my own. And I had DevOps people at my job that was like, "Man, you don't need that. We need you to learn this to do these job functions." And that's most companies. You're not going to go into a company building Kubernetes from scratch, standing up Jenkins clusters from scratch. You're going to do Git and GitLab or GitHub on a consistent daily basis, pushes, pulls, merges, if you're working in that kind of environment, whether you're a cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, even cybersecurity, you're going to push and pull from GitLab or GitHub, depending on your work environment. So, but these things are already stood up. You're just using them. You're not building them from scratch. And that's the thing. Most companies, you're not going to walk into a company building stuff from scratch. That's rare, right? You might find that, but for the most part, nah, you ain't going to walk into no company building something from scratch. Now, Springboard is one I've seen specifically because when I first launched Shea Tech, I was doing a lot of cybersecurity, and then they wanted me to promote the platform, so I got a chance to see their back end, and all their whole platform is basically AI generated and just content generated, and then they grab videos from the internet, from YouTube, they slap it together, put it into a course, boom, and they charge. They don't even put the price on it. But I remember a young lady that had came to me for cybersecurity training, and I think she paid like 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, something crazy, but it was over $10,000. So I was like, what? But it was like if I remember correctly, $10,000 to $20,000. It was insane, right? So when you see and of course, it's one of these things where, look, apply now. Go ahead and apply now, and then when you apply, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna talk to you. We're gonna butter you up. We're gonna tell you why this is the perfect program. We're gonna talk about all these different companies. You don't know if nobody started at these companies. You don't know. How you gonna know, right? So you just taking their word for it. That could be. I could put this on my website. That don't mean nothing, right? Oh, they work for what? That don't mean nothing anyway. Then they got other ones like Simply Learn. This is Udacity, and this is one of the things about Udacity I was saying. Like one of these things. I was taking a bunch of classes, And this is a long time ago. This was 2020, right? And it's still sitting there. I never completed them back there. So this is why I'm trying to tell you that let this be an example, right? So I did complete one program. I completed the Nutanix platform program because we were using Nutanix. So I did complete that one. But like I said, it was like a nuisance to deal with Udacity at that time to get something done, right? Now, kind of going back, switching gears, kind of rambling a little bit, going all over the place. So, leveling up in tech, coder code. Now, let's go ahead and talk about KubeCraft, right? So, KubeCraft is another one of these high sales tactic kind of places where you click on apply now, and they set you up with somebody. He's probably hired somebody to kind of filter sales. I'm pretty sure he's not doing it himself. And if he is, more power to you, because that's a lot to deal with people coming in. And I know from running Shea's Tech, from just focusing, and that's why I decided to focus on just Linux as the core before any other platform, any other training, because everything you do, you're going to need Linux first. That's why I'll only focus on Linux. But anyway, and I'll never launch a boot camp ever. I don't think it's necessary, right? So he's got a lot of testimonials and folks. For most of these people, when you see stuff like 2 weeks and staff engineer, these were people that were already IT people, right? Now he does a really good job with marketing and stuff like that. He really does. And I looked at some of the training that he has, and it's actually pretty good. The training is actually pretty good. I got a buddy of mine, Nigerian friend of mine, who actually is participating in the program, and he dropped them buckets, them dollars, and signed up. But he said it actually is pretty good, and he likes it. So it's not to say that some of these platforms that these guys run are no good, but it's to just let you know that they're going to come with a price tag. Now, do you need to pay that price tag? That's up to you. You got to decide if that makes sense to you. Because I'm going to tell you something. $4,800 a year, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money in any country, right? Especially if you in like a country in Africa. There's about 54 different countries in Africa, Middle East, Asia, even in the U.S. If you're from Philly, like I'm from Philly, and grew up in New Jersey, New York, and here's the thing. That's a lot of money, man. That's a lot of money a year, especially when you can get training on your own and develop a process. You can develop a course outline with the way that you follow it is you find a job description, and let me just go through it real quick, right? Let's go to Defense Unicorns, right? They do really good with their job descriptions. So Defense Unicorns, right? And this is a government IT contractor, but they're like an anomaly because they have like remote work and everything. All right, so let's go, Bridge. Sorry. Now let's click on cybersecurity engineer. We look for like DevOps platform. Okay, RevOps. Let's see what they have for RevOps. Let's go back to platform engineer. And I'm just using them as one example. And what I'm talking about is you look in the companies in your area for where you want to work and the type of job roles you want, and you find out what you need to learn, right? Now, take a look at this. CI/CD, GitOps, Kubernetes, Tofu, AWS. They give you, of course, Linux, EKS, right? And you want to focus on what they actually need. And this is just one random company, but they're going to tell you what you need to learn. And then you need to figure out what is it going to take. And I'll show you real quick, right? This is why this matters. And let me pull up Khaki. Khaki is another IT government contractor in the DC metro area. Sometimes they have very good job descriptions with detail. Let's see. Pull up Solutions Architect. Sometimes they're good. Sometimes let me type in what's another one? GDIT jobs. GDIT jobs, career search, and Peraton. These are all government contractors in the DC metro area. All right, let's look for open roles. Explore open roles. I've always liked Peraton's website. They do a pretty good job about putting their information. Okay, so like, let's look in the DC metro area. Location. Let's say Maryland. You see, Maryland is crazy. They got a lot from out. I'm not gonna worry about highlighting that. All right, so location, Maryland. All right, so let's go to system engineer, and let's look for DevOps. But I hope you're kind of seeing what I'm trying to say. Look up. Okay, there we go. DevOps engineer. Don't you hate when sneezes coming and then it stops? Drives you nuts. Anyway, so you see here, this is really good. This is fantastic. Good job, Peraton. Fantastic. All right. So CI/CD pipelines, Terraform, Kubernetes, Docker. This is general infrastructure stuff, software installation, troubleshooting, etc. Cloud monitoring. You see, they got AWS there. So AWS is king in most of the country, most of the world, actually. So don't go off learning Azure and most of the companies in your area is AWS. It's just foolish doing that. So anyway, so this is what I'm talking about, right? Find out what most of the companies in your area are looking for, then you can do this, right? Look at this, boom, 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 right? You got AI. Check this out. You got AI nowadays. All right, now I pay for a pro account, but this works on a regular account too. But check this out, right? And I'm usually on Linux. I'm just on Mac because I'm in the office. I'm on my wife's computer. I use Linux. She stole my camera. That's why I'm using this. All right, so build me a DevOps training that will take roughly 6 to 12 months with the associated AWS recommended certifications, certifications. Leave me alone, I'm tired. It's 11:28 at night. And detail the plan in a PDF that I can follow step by step on a weekly basis. Use this job description as an outline of what I need to learn and extrapolate and include anything I may be missing. Then paste that in. Now, I'm doing this in real time, Jack, right? So you don't need to go to some boot camp and get their information. You let AI help you develop the program, right? Then it's on you to sit down. Number one, find the free training first. Start with the free training and what? Leave my, I make quiet hours later. Let me change my quiet hours. Oh, this during the work week. All right, let me take that off. Leave me alone. I'm working, baby. All right. Now it's continuing, right? So it's going to finish building everything out. You're going to see it in real time, right? And this is what I would do today if I was learning today, right? If I was learning DevOps today from scratch, this is what I would do. Is I would find a job description from my local area. I'd look at like 10 different companies, right? See the same theme between them, because you're going to see CI/CD, you're going to see AWS, you're going to see Terraform, you're going to see CloudFormation, Kubernetes, Docker, you're going to see Jenkins and sub job descriptions, you're going to see even SonarQube from the DevSecOps stuff. So you're going to see a theme across all of the different job descriptions. Yeah, pick like 10, right? And your local area is going to fluctuate. So if you see 10 companies in your local area looking for Azure, then focus on Azure. If you see 10 companies in your local area focus on GCP, focus on GCP. Same thing for AWS, but for the most part, AWS is going to be your top bet. But go by what's in your local area. Develop your plan based upon what's in your local area, right? Now, okay, so now it's actually building out the file. Now, while that's building out the file, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these platforms, right? We left off with Tech World with Nana, Cyber was a Springboard. Next was Simply Learn. So here's the thing. I personally have a challenge with certain accents from certain countries, and it kind of gets nerve-wracking for me after a certain amount of hours of listening to somebody with a certain kind of tone of voice. So you have to pick what works for you, of what you're willing to deal with on a daily basis. But like I said, everybody that I work with today, everyone I've worked with in the last 5 to 10 years, none of them attended boot camps. They just went to regular training, right? So you have to decide for yourself if that's something you want to do. Now, another thing is, and we're going to get into this next, and then I'm going to wrap up, is that most of the training out there is less than $300, right? Like, let's look at, and this is Udemy. I love Udemy as one example. You can really do a lot with Udemy. It's structured, but you got to have a lot of self-discipline. That's the thing. So Code Cloud, where is their pricing? Let me go to incognito view. Code Cloud. And if you like Pluralsight, if you whatever company you like, if they got hands-on training and hands-on labs, Tutorials Dojo is another one, then use them, right? So let's go to Tutorials Dojo. They got really, really good practice exams. I really like that. I've used their practice exams for the AWS Certified Solutions Architect. It was gold. I mean, it really helped me pass that exam. I 100% will say that. So their pricing is here. So I always go by monthly. But actually, I do pay yearly because I use it extensively. So for the whole year, where's my little toolbar? All right. For the whole year, as you can see, oh, there's my little toolbar. They move it around. I'm so used to my Linux laptop. I mean, this is what happens when you're using somebody else's machine. So anyway, all right, this is almost done. Where did you go, baby? You lost my screen, baby. There we go. Come back. All right. So as you can see here, you got $250 for the year. They got an AI function. We'll just move this up a little bit. Tutorials Dojo is dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. I mean, let's log into Tutorials Dojo. Because Tutorials Dojo, they stuff be like 10, 12 bucks, $8. Their prices are very reasonable, very affordable. But their UI is a little jacked up. I mean, it's navigate. You know, you can navigate it. It's just a little clunky. That's all. All right, come on. I don't care about y'all seeing my email addresses. Go ahead, contact me. Buy something. So let's see. All right, because I had this was a long time ago, but they have a where's that? Hands-on labs. They got hands-on labs at Tutorials Dojo, and they've got courses and stuff like that. So I did these too. It was excellent, very good. His stuff is actually really really good. So he's like, yeah, maybe a little bit better, yeah, you know. But anyway, as you can see, 30% off. They always got sales going. Always got sales going, all the time. So as you can see, they got a basic plan, pro plan. You know, $40.99 a month, $19.99 a month. And like I said, you ain't got to pay for the whole year. Pay for what you need, focus on learning what you need to learn, and get up out of there, right? Where do you need to spend $4,800? That's what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so let's go down. All right, now there's your training plan. Okay, let me go ahead and open this. Let's take a look at this. Looks good, right? So take a look at this. Prepared for your AI is a fool. Prepared for Shea Bennett. You know what I mean? This is nice. All right, so you know you got companies that will have you pay for this crap. But then again, I'm kind of paying because I'm paying for the AI, so I guess I am. Anyway, so look, complete roadmap, certifications I need, job description coverage map, right? Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, let's get down. Week 1, Linux and CLI, networking, get version control. And see, look, it's even telling you where to get the resources for free. Look at this. Week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, 9, 10. Look at that. Look. My boy's on there. Tutorials Dojo. I'm going to put the link, baby. All right. So look, week 11, week 18. All the way straight down. Look at this. This is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and add this. I'll add this to the video for everybody, and I'll go ahead and post this as a free download on Learn Linux for Work, and you go ahead and grab it, right? It's free. Boom. So this is what I'm trying to say to you. Now, you can couple paid training with all right, they should have a section here with HTML, CSS, some development stuff. Okay, like a code build, code pipeline, code deploy, right? So you can go to Scribble. I'm always butchering the name. All right, so this is one company, Scrimba. I always call them Scribble. Scrimba. Their hands-on is out of bounds, right? So they got free courses, they got paid stuff, and it throws you directly into the course, and just watch it, and it goes in the hands-on. You just start getting to work, right? So Scrimba's one. There's so many different platforms, right? So ultimately, you develop and design your platform. You go step by step, and you spend what you need to spend for the time you need to spend. But look at this. Exam fees, this is AWS exam fees, right? Tutorials Dojo, I mean, it even broke down the cost. So I'm still trying to understand. Let me get the calculator. What a calculator at? What a calculator? Boom, let me get the calculator out, right? That was how much money I owe. 11,000, I got bills. Anyway, all right, look, $850 plus $100 plus let's see, that's total, that's just exam stuff, right? That's $950, right? Now you figure 6 months times 30, 6 times 30, that's $180, right? Optional books and stuff like that, like you see optional books if you want. So let's just say total, you might spend with a used laptop, right? And let me show you this, right? Don't be foolish. Buy used laptops, eBay. So you buy a used laptop, you install Linux on it. Now look at the price for used laptops, right? $160, $69. You don't need no super duper powerful thing. You just need something to install Linux on, like Ubuntu or Rocky Linux, and you start with that. That's how I started. I started with Ubuntu Linux on a used HP laptop, right? You don't want to use eBay? Go to Amazon. There's something called refurbished, right? Refurbished laptops. It's called refurbished, renewed, whatever. Most companies have refurbished, renewed. I'll do a whole nother video with that. I already have that video. But anyway, so you want to look for refurbished and used laptops and stuff like that, and you try to find them. I'm not going to sit here going through this website, but like you see, not no Chromebook. You can't learn on no Chromebook. Don't even purchase that garbage. Backtrack, back market. Back market is like used Macs. They got Windows laptops. They got not the premium prices, but you see, you can get a MacBook Air for $355. But that's expensive. You know what I mean? Just try to stick down to like between $100 and $250. If you want to splurge, go up to $300. But don't spend a whole bunch of money on a laptop. If it's a Mac, don't go above $300. If it's a used Intel, don't go above like $150, $200. That's all you need. You install Linux on bare metal, and then you go ahead and get started. That's it. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. It's 11:42. I need to start driving home. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make this. I'm going to add this for free. This is the website, Learn Linux for Work. And let me just show you. Move this thing out the way. Move it. So this is the website. I'll have these links here. I'll have the downloads for free inside LinkedIn. But check this out. Sign in. All right. As a student. I don't feel like going through all this right now. Fine. I'll get a code. Give me a code. Real time. Doesn't matter if you do it again. I've already done it. All right. So we log in as a student. When you log in as a student, this is what you're going to see, right? When you first log in, you're going to see this whole navigation bar, right? Now, where is it going to be the listing of these schools and information? So let's click on red. So the schools info is going to be here. Ebooks is going to be here under ebooks. And of course, Doc Linux. That's your Linux command center. Anyway, all right. So let's take a look real quick. And I did this, and it's free, right? You don't need to pay for access to this. What's paid for is the hands-on labs, right? Because you got to pay for a server, and I ain't paying for that for nobody. All right. So anyway, this is where I listed like fundamentals, certificate programs, certification programs, boot camps, right? Now, as you can see, I'm not hating on them because I put Coolcraft here because a buddy of mine who's taken the program said it actually was valuable to him, right? So I put it there because I spoke to an actual person that is in it. It's expensive as hell. I wouldn't do it, but more power to him. He wants to rush into the field. Thumbs up. Good for him. Coda Co, I got another buddy. They're in the program. They like it. They love it. These are people who are very hypersocial people, right? Me, I'm an introvert. You may not notice it, but I actually prefer to do a lot of things on my own. I'm not good with having to sit there and explain things to people and stuff like that. So, I mean, I am, but I don't want to, right? So I don't have a need for these kind of platforms, and many people that are maybe introverts or adaptive extroverts where they have to survive and use social people's world. So for us, many times we don't need that, right? But people that do need that level of interaction, they want to talk to somebody, they want to bounce ideas off someone, they want to get feedback from another human being and get figure out what they're saying. They don't want to do things on their own 100%. Then that's what these are for. Like I said, I support and Nana. I'm just gonna leave it at Nana. I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm not sure how to say your last name, and I don't want to butcher it. So, Tech World with Nana. Um, I've talked to a couple different people that are friends of mine. They have used it. They paid for it. They love it. I was actually going to sign up for it. It was just cost prohibitive at the time. So, nothing but good things to say for them. I got another buddy at work that uses Boot.dev. It's not really so much a boot camp, but it's gamified learning. Really good. I have used it myself for learning some things with what was it? Some back end stuff. So it was actually a pretty good program. So I put it there. Same thing with Scrimba. Scrimba is fantastic. Full for, free code camp. Obviously the king and college and university programs. It's all right here. So anyway, so you log in. More ebooks will be posted here, and yeah. So all of this to say, if you do a boot camp, you don't have to, right? You don't have to sign up for no boot camp, but if you're someone that has absolutely no IT experience, you need someone to hold your hand. You must be monitored because you don't have a lot of self-discipline and self-control. You are not good at managing your own time and being accountable to yourself. Then maybe a boot camp is a fit for you. But I will never say go out and get a loan to join anybody's boot camp. That's stupid, right? You don't go into debt in order to build yourself. Now, these salespeople will tell you everything that they want to say, and they'll tell you, oh, you're investing in your future. Yeah, right. What you're investing in is their profit, So I'll speak against that all day, and I don't care what nobody says, right? Now, that's me, because I'm a self-learner, self-taught, self-disciplined, self-motivated. So I don't need that. But some people need that, right? Now, if you feel like that is for you, hey, I ain't got no beef with that. That's up to you. That's your pocket, your loan, your struggle, your headache, your decision in your life. Me personally, you could take that money and invest it, right? But $10,000, nah, player. I ain't trying to hear that. I don't care what excuse you say. I don't care if you handing out gold rings every 2 weeks. No, I'm not paying that kind of money to learn nothing that you would pay a 1/100th of that if you just sit yourself down and focus and use the tools that's available today. Use AI. Teach yourself. Spend the time learning. Don't just jump out there because you think you're going to get rich. And if you're on the African continent, my Kenyan brothers and sisters, Karibu, Karabuni, listen to me. My Nigerian brothers and sisters, Oga, Ma, listen to me. You're not going to get rich and head to America and make a whole bunch of money because you paid for some boot camp. You're not, right? A lot of people that come to the US or the UK, I lived in Kenya, people be lying. My wife runs a home healthcare company, and I can't even tell you how many people that are IT people that work there, and they're in there cleaning people's houses, washing toilets, and wiping butts, right? There's nothing wrong with being a home care provider. I got a lot of respect for them. I spent many years as a combat medic working in hospitals, and I wiped many butts in hospitals. I really did, as a hospital corpsman and also working in the field and working in the hospital. So there's honor in that job. But don't let nobody tell you that you're going to somehow get rich and be making all this money, be flossing and building houses and sending money back home. Because I'm going to tell you something, money back home, family would get on your damn nerves. But don't let nobody tell you no lies, right? Take the time to sit down, study, learn, and focus. Whether you're in Africa, whether you're in America, and being poor and working a low-class job. I worked as a chef too, so I know what it's like to be underpaid and low wage. I worked in construction too. I still do construction work, flipping houses in Baltimore City. So there's no get-rich-quick scheme to sitting down and studying and focusing and taking the time to learn, because the boot camps and the training and the certifications and all that, the phase of getting hired, getting referred, and landing a job, that's the first phase. Straight up, that's the first phase. Keeping the job is a whole. I've hired people. I've worked as a senior director, IT director, as a deputy CIO. People get the jobs. Your behavior, your ability to communicate, your social skills, your soft skills will determine if you keep the job, right? So the learning, the training, the education is only one part of the phase. Then once you get the job, working with your coworkers and your soft skills, your ability to network, follow the rules, and get work done will determine if you stay in that job, right? And then you go from there. And then when you start making money, how are you going to live your life? Are you going to burn through your money? It goes from there, right? And this is listening to a 49-year-old man that been through the hell, So, but I warn you and I caution you strongly. Don't jump out there and jump in debt and get loans to sign up for no boot camp, and you haven't learned anything, right? There's so many resources out here in the world if you just take the time to do your research and look and find. Also, don't jump into a college degree program thinking you're going to get a job at the end just because you went to college. Like you're going to go to WGU, and when you graduate, you're going to get a job. No. I went to National University, I graduated. I didn't get a job because of my degree. I had a referral inside Act for Healthcare, and that's how I got my first job. So, yeah. So I wish you all the best. I hope this was helpful at all. If not, hey, click on it and move on. But like I said, boot camps, don't let it be driven by your greed, your lack of discipline, and lack of focus and rushing. Focus on the career path that you want. What is the end stage goal you're trying to get? What do you want to accomplish in life? And let your career path be towards that goal. It may not be IT, it may be cooking, maybe farming, it could be anything else. But let whatever you learn and do be towards that path, and understand that it's going to take sacrifice, discipline, time, and focus, and you'll be successful. Peace. And to the Muslims, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.